All right, guys, so we're going to chronicle this last drive of the first half here where Oklahoma pushes it to 14. I haven't watched it. I mean, obviously watched it live. Haven't watched it here. So we'll just kind of see what sticks out, what kind of comes about, and we'll watch it a little bit here. All right, here we go. Oof. Brandon Hillman is... That dude's nasty at safety. Now, he's the one, if I'm not mistaken, he's the one that blows the tackle or the sack on Mateer later on the big Satania play. So that is kind of interesting to see. But he's very physical. But Mateer just impressed you with his ability just to kind of pick his way for yardage, man. It's not super explosive. It's not crazy. It's just kind of. It's kind of something. Here's one Oklahoma actually blocks pretty well. You've got Michael washing this guy, Fabechi, Michael Fasusi right here. Let me get my pen out so I can. So here you got Simmons. I'm sorry, yeah, you got Ozida coming down. Here's Simmons. Here's Fabechi. There's Michael. Okay, I saw a 6 and it threw me off. Apologize. But yeah, I mean, that's a good run lane. Now, yeah. Again, part of this is just, like I talked about, Michigan with their edges, they're so aggressive and they squeeze down so hard that, again, I kind of thought as the game went on, you'd see a little more, just letting the guys kind of move a little bit. But trying to do some stuff to get around the edge, but you didn't do a ton of that. Okay, did they run this play? Yeah. 3rd and 3. Oh, offside, that's right. Okay. Wait. What happened to first? I missed first. Okay, I apologize. See, okay, I've been talking a lot about the Gentry Williams stuff. Look at these guys. Look how much slower they are to react to this look. Now, part of that is Oklahoma shows you a lot of trips. They do a lot of stuff like that. Michigan, I think it's a little more of a tell because they don't do that stuff quite as regularly. But you can just see Michigan a little slower to respond to this stuff. And you wonder a little bit about that. Is that a Martindale NFL background? Michigan's DC. This is not something that you see a lot in the NFL. It's not that it's not there. It's just not as prevalent. Anyway, so and a nice little move here by Dion just to get 3 yards, 4 yards, whatever it was. I guess it's 3. So all right, let's keep moving here. All right, 2nd and 7. Yeah, and that's the first one of the two where Mateer's just got to put more air into that. When he throws it, if it's more here, Dion can just run under it and he walks into the end zone. That's a free touchdown. Hang on, I got to mark something else as well. I got something I'm working on. It's kind of another compilation video I want to do once I'm done with the game itself. But I mean, that play's there. It's there to be made. He's got Zeke Berry beat, and Mateer just can't lead him out there like that. So, again, I'm guessing they're joking about it. I mean, obviously Berry takes it off the helmet. We need to make scoop shirts. When in doubt, throw it to Keontez Lewis. I mean, this kid catches everything. And I'm not saying this was like, oh, this is the hardest catch ever. But the placement there from Mateer is really good. And Lewis just making sure he's not worried about the yak or anything like that. I got to move the chains here. We got to keep moving. I thought that was impressive. All right, so we got some shotgun one back here. Javonte Barnes, man, we all, and I include myself, man, we buried that kid last week. He ran hard. He fought through some he ran like we know Javon. I mean, look at him. He just took out his own left guard. He runs over Heath Azida, who I think in turn takes out, I don't know who that was. But that's a good run, man. That's one of OU's best pure runs, just from a traditional running situation that you see all night. I mean, there's no other way to say that. Probably is, but it'd be better and sound more eloquent, and nobody's got time for that. Look at the little head, just stop. Whoop! No, I mean, that is, guys, that's like a slot receiver. And again, I remind you guys, John Mateer was a receiver for most of his high school career as a backup quarterback, and then his senior year is when I was told senior year. It may have been his junior year. The first time I ever had a conversation, I was told senior year. I think that's wrong, and I think I can't get it out of my brain. So I apologize if that part is incorrect. But he did play considerable wide receiver in his high school career, and I think it shows. Yeah, and look, Deion Burks just sits down, finds a spot. That's a veteran savvy receiver, sees the zone, and just says, okay, I got a spot. And look, just right in the middle of it, easy pitch and catch for John Mateer, and Oklahoma's in business inside the 10. Ben Arbuck will call it a hell of a game. I mean, the players got to go make the plays, but boy, he put them in some good spots to do so. You've seen, and again, this is one of the few, just as I watch the O-line more and I get a feel for him. Jake Michla, he's going to get nothing but better. I think some of the play is for him next year, like letting him get better, letting him grow, because I think he and Everett are largely kind of a wash. I think Michla can maybe be a better player by the end of this year, but then you go into next year where Oklahoma could return 3 of the starting 5 here, and your other 2 are Howland and Foje, who are going to play a lot of football this year. And Howland obviously played a lot last year in the second half. So, but there are times here where you can see, he's a bigger, longer guy. He kind of gets muscled sometimes. You can see him here, he's a little high. And I think that's the Price guy, the 95 kid. It's a good player. Just kind of gets under him and eats him up a little bit. It's football, stuff happens. But you've seen it at points in this game where he just looks a little physically overwhelmed at points. All right, so second and goal, 26 left. To stop this, and I should have said it when I saw Brent call timeout. I thought from a clock management standpoint, this was the best job we've seen Brent do since 23. And I just thought, like, the way they managed this drive, they were letting clock. They didn't want to give Michigan the ball with too much time back. And once they kind of knew, okay, we're in scoring position, then they started thinking about their timeouts, how they were going to use them. I thought it was really, really well orchestrated and executed in the way they did it. Look at that cut. That's impressive. Because as soon as this guy cuts down, Mateer just like, nope, I'm out this way. Again, man, really, really impressive. And knowing that so much of these guys on offense are still figuring out what they're doing, they're still figuring out their assignments. You got a guy like Michael Fasusi playing his first ever college football. Jake Michla has been on campus for all of like 4 months. Derek Simmons had missed a big chunk of the last month of camp, or the last month of football from you know, early on in camp. And to see them doing some of the stuff they were doing in this game, just super, super impressive. But again, that was OU's second scoring drive. Just kind of wanted to break it down.